This is one of those deals where you almost have to see him like 95% of the time. We wanted him to do it all. That's why we started about a month before shooting in LA and started training him.
We work together and do sort of a mixed martial arts workout 3 times a week.
It's variations of many things. There is some amount of martial arts. Most of it is, street fighting and cage fighting. Learned from the military. Special abilities, special force techniques. You come here, you gotta let it go.
He got Denzel on a schedule that I cannot believe he got him on. He had Denzel boxing, training, fighting.
Once we got him going and working out every day, and I'm not, bragging him up, but he's pretty damn quick.
Denzel would not do the movie if he had used a gun. He wouldn't have done it.
Hands where I could see him.
It is a staple of big Hollywood movies, and we believed that we could do something a little different here, that he didn't have to use a gun to deliver the impact that he does.
He uses his physical skills and takes what you have and uses it against you.
When you are the equalizer, you walk into a room and there's 2 or 3 guys. You scan the room while you having conversations. So if a fight does break out, everything in that room on the defense.
Well, there's your chair, there's the camera next to you that could be slammed into your head. Everything's a weapon.
I met with a friend of mine who does these things for a living. For things in the room, he said, look, if you're in a bar or the place, these are the things that would be useful to me. He pulled out these corkscrews and did that. And I immediately saw Denzel, because Denzel boxes every day. He's on the set boxing.
I talked to a lot of Navy SEALs, guys who've done hand-to-hand combat. They can tell when they go in a room who's going to get up first.
16 seconds.
When the scene starts and the fighting gets ready to start, one guy comes in and the first move on him may be quick. Then the second guy's on him, and then, that move is even quicker.
Yeah, leave that moving. And as I reach, you can reach. You see what I'm saying? Which is later in this shot. That's correct.
Once McCall throws somebody or kicks somebody a certain direction, then that gives us time to deal with that next person that's coming.
Action.
These things don't last long. It's not going to be, 5 minutes of action. It's going to be actually really 15 seconds of action. Brutal, real hardcore action.
He grabs him, and all of a sudden, that's what that is. The guy's throwing punches, and he's blocking him. It's like a boxer. Well, it's not like he kills you from a distance. He gets in your face, and he's watching the light go out in your eyes.
Denzel, fortunately, can play that better than anybody.
He wanted us to believe that anything and everything that Denzel Washington's character does in this movie, he could do, because he is doing it.
He's done very, very well. I'm proud of him.
You're going to feel the hurt. You're going to feel the pain.
We have probably 6, 7, 8 kills in this movie that you have never seen before, and you will never forget.
What happened?
Hit it on something stupid.
I've never looked at it as an action movie. We never talked about it as just an action movie. It's a character-driven movie with action in it, right? And we took our time, before we even get to the action, building the character, getting to know the character, and some of the, mysteries about the guy.
I think he's in denial about who he is and what he's done. He's trying to keep the past in the past, and he's not a guy who works at Walmart, lives alone. He's actually something else, but to the world, he's a guy who works at, well, not even to the world, because the kids ask him right away, what is it, used to do for a living?
Right.
They sense something that he's more than a guy who works at Walmart.
Yo, you are a pimp.
Or not a pimp, P-I-P, but he's tried to suppress his past, and I think that it's manifest again in his behavior, his obsessive behavior. I took a hint from him always looking at his watch, and which led me to thinking about obsessive behavior, which led to obsessive compulsive behavior.
We built a lot of just sustained tension within that before any violence happened.
Joel Silver used to talk about, I think it was the whammo factor or something like that,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whammo charge.
Yeah, every
10 minutes, like 10 minutes in, we got to blow up something.
Yeah.
So we don't blow up anything for how long?
About 20 minutes,
20 minutes.
30, somewhere around
My real name's Alina.
there. You have to love the girl, Bob. You have to care for the girl right away. We didn't have time for you to sort of get to know her and get to see if she's a decent person. She just has a good spirit. So as soon as you see her at the counter, and she starts talking and you look in her eyes and stuff like that, just Chloe herself. You like Chloe, you care for Chloe.
Loaded with poison, just like you like it.
Is it your birthday?
Not somebody's at work.
Oh, happy birthday to some guy at work.
She's that person. She's a special individual. She lights up a room. She brings her own lights. So when you see that, if you're wise, you take advantage of it. You capture it. You hire her. And she just had that magic that she's just gifted that way. And I won't say without trying, because she's obviously doing her work, but she carries her own lights.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, I could imagine if I don't like her.
Yeah, you don't like her.
We're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
From the first frame, you gotta like her. You gotta love her. She's still a kid. She's got little headphones on with little hearts on it, and
And she tries to be grown,
right,
which is endearing. Right. She tries to be sexy. She doesn't even have hips yet.
She can't even walk in the hills.
Yeah, she couldn't walk in the hills well, but which makes it sadder.
Yeah.
That obviously someone is taking advantage of a child. Right. She's still a child, she hasn't filled out yet. So it's worse. It's worse.
For me, it was living in half worlds, living in the glass, this glass case, living in that world, but the outside world still exists. Tim McCall goes there at 3:00 in the morning every night. He tries to sort of escape by going into books, and he's in this little corner in his little world, but the world keeps coming to him. And Chloe walks in there, and she's sitting in there, right? Then she comes over to the table, so you can't escape it.
You got to be who you are in this world.
Right? So that's what it is. You can't escape the world. It's outside. It's the only way to show it.
I see a lot of widow guys. Something in your eyes.
I think they connect. She understands things about him, or at least voices what she understands about him. Well, I'll say she understands things about him most people don't, like his sadness, the fact that he's a widower. And, she talks about seeing it in his eyes. So I think that he hasn't opened up to too many people, and he sort of, to a degree, opens up to her, and then she's obviously in this precarious situation. I'm here for freedom. I think he came there to give them the money to get her released. I don't think he came there for any other reason. I'd like to think he thought that was going to work. I don't think he came there planning on a fight, but he was capable. Richard Wink wrote in the script some details about, again, clues, that
he sees in a special way. But it wasn't defined yet, because if you wrote it in the script, it would have been, 2 or 3 pages. And so we had to come up with a way to how the eye works as far as taking in light, things becoming sharp. The idea was that he had already assessed all that when he first entered the room. What I just show you what was happening in his mind within seconds. So, it was just to make it more of an internal battle, to go inside and make the audience feel like they were from his perspective, and to witness a man who understands violence. There's violent men and men who understand violence. Men who understand violence already decided what they're going to do to you before it's done. That's Robert McCall.
We spent months just doing that one drill. We did it, I don't know, thousands and thousands of times. And just practice it all day during the course of the day, just speed moves. And really it comes from relaxation. It's not trying to be fast. It's just trying to be relaxed.
I was fighting. There you go. Yeah, the sooner the better.
It was so well oiled before we got there, as Denzel was saying. They laid it out and they worked it out. So by the time we got there, it was a matter of how I was going to capture it. But they had already laid it out.
And we rehearsed it eventually as a master. I mean, we did the entire thing. We built the parts and then we put it together. And I just got to where it was a dance, really. You just knew what to do. And they're great stuntmen, they made me look good.
Stuntmen rehearsing with you, but not stuntmen doing it.
Right.
It's Denzel.
Oh, yeah, right. No, I don't mean stuntmen for me. I mean the other guys.
Oh, yeah, the guy you took out.
Yeah, they were protecting me.
Action. That's nice.
That's one of the conversations we would have was just, how do you do an action scene that would be informative, so it's not just an action scene? And how you do an action scene that's, you don't lose the drama of having Denzel Washington doing it himself, where the camera's all over the map and you don't see anything.
You go right to his face and you see his face doing the flop.
So it's almost like a little bit of a throwback in a way when they used to make movies where when you saw the violence, Westerns where you saw someone get shot, or even the 70s where you actually witnessed the event and the actor doing it. I shot it like a narrative in a way, because every time I read the script, I said, what is it saying? What does it tell us? And what does it say about McCall? So a man that can take out a room in 16 seconds with no gun, by using everything that's there, tells you more than any writer could just write out when you witness that sort of brutality. And the fact that he could look a guy in his eyes and put a corkscrew in his chin and look him in his eyes as he bleeds out and then yank it out.
I do that all the time.
Yeah,
You never done that?
a couple times. Not as good though.
Well, thank you.
I always miss. I always get up.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Ear's as good as the chin.
But yeah, that's what it is. He took care of these guys, and he took care of them in a way where there's no evidence of who did it. And that's why when you see it on the news, she says it's a gang.
Police sources have said the killings have all the earmarks of a turf war.
No one believes one guy took out all these guys that way. So as far as he was concerned, it was, it was a done deal. And until Teddy comes in, and then they bring the rest of the violence to him. That's why it's really important. I keep saying it's not a vigilante movie, because he doesn't go after anybody for violence. He goes after everybody to give him a chance. They bring the violence, and then he just handles it after that.
Hey, officer.
Whoa, put the light down.
He's the equalizer. These are guys who should be upholding the law, but they're taking advantage of their position of authority, and he doesn't care for that. And it's personal because it is Ralphie, so he's got to do something about that. Those people you took the money from, maybe you should give it back.
Why would we do that?
Best interest of everyone involved.
I've always thought that McCall looks for some glimmer of light in everybody. So you get every chance. He's not completely dark and evil.
Because I say that, what was it? I say to Teddy or somebody, I say, I gave you a chance. I tried to give you a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's his nature, to want to give people an opportunity first. especially guys that should be upholding the law.
Maybe our best interest is to tie a cinder block around your waist and throw you in the fucking mist.
The way Denzel played him is so just a normal guy, the jeans and the cheap shirts, and there was nothing about him that looked like he was going to be the guy that walked in the room being a badass. He's just like a really normal guy. So it's on them to underestimate somebody, to walk in the room and think he's supposed to look a certain way to be a badass. He was just a normal guy. So he can let him go as far as he felt comfortable, and it was their mistake. In shooting it, it was like Denzel worked it out with them as well at what point when he was going to start to move and choreograph it. But, a guy like that, he probably could have had the handcuffs put on him and still could have done something. You know what I mean?
There's a couple of things I could have done.
Yeah. I mean, handcuffs is a weapon. Then
Just choke him out.
Yeah.
I'm offering you a chance to do the right thing. Take it.
That fucking hurt more than the beating.
Took it easy on them. No, he didn't.
Yeah. Broken nose.
Yeah, broken nose.
Broken arm. Yeah.
There you go.
That ring, too. Give me that ring.
No.
He's already 10 steps ahead of most people, right? In seconds. So he knows he's in Homar. There's people around, civilians around.
Right.
So he's clocking every little detail. That's why we shot the kid coming through the door. He wouldn't do anything that would to jeopardize civilians. He's a good man. The door opens and the kid comes through and he, lets it go. These kind of individuals see the details of everything. So later, when I do get the hammer, he would be easy to find. Lumberjack hat, the tattoos on the neck.
Right.
Like just details. That's what it is. Also, look on the neck right here. That's a artery. You hit somebody there, you take them out.
Right.
So he looks at all those things that we don't look at, the human anatomy. Think about where the soft spots.
You should have played the part.
Huh?
You should have played the part, man. You get into it.
He wouldn't be here today.
And a lot of times, like in a good scary movie, it's what you don't see. You see him just wiping off the hammer. He knows he's not alone. I think he assumes there's more than that. What does he say? Just you, or yeah.
Is it just you, or are we waiting for someone else?
And he talks about his hands. He's already can tell he's not what he appears to be.
Your hands. If you really work the power lines down there, your hands wouldn't look like that. I know we got to be waiting for somebody else.
When you think anything's a weapon, then you start looking everywhere. Just look around. Everything. A hot cup of coffee. Everything. You can take the top off and scratch you. Try to hit you in the eye or any and everything. Sometimes your first blow is just to get your attention. Obviously, the throat is good. A lot of times they'll step on your foot, so you look down. Then they'll open you up. If you stomp on somebody's foot, first thing they're going to do is that. Whatever choice you make. What the hell is this guy doing? Gets the lights out, makes a beeline for Teddy's vehicle, gets pictures of them, gets the one up on that.
And McCall's a guy who probably comes from a time where we didn't have cell phones and all that kind of crazy stuff all the time. And he doesn't need to be a part of that, technology unless he needs it. The idea was that you assume he doesn't use any of that stuff based on the books and his house. You don't see anything fancy in there. But when he starts to use it, again, it starts to inform you. He's really up on technology. He's up on it more than you are. But you didn't know that because he doesn't appear it that way. It's informative of where does he come from? His house has nothing fancy, no technology. But then when he goes into a different, then he's got clocks with cameras in it. He's got all kind of stuff going on. You go, okay, this guy comes from somewhere, wherever his background is, it goes deep. And that to me tells you more about him. Again.
Yeah, and he wants to draw them in. He wants to see where they're coming from. And even going back to fighting, if someone grabs your wrist, your tendency is to push or do something, but sometimes pulling is the way to get your opponent off balance. So he actually pulls them in. He creates a vacuum and they fill it. So that now they're operating on his terms. They're chasing him, but they don't know where he is.
When you look at me, what do you see?
I needed somebody that obviously had a certain size to just be next to Denzel. I needed someone that had a certain presence to be in the scene with Denzel. I needed somebody that wouldn't drown as an actor to be in the scene with Denzel. And he's a theater actor as well, which of course Denzel is. So he just had a presence and a discipline about him that was really important.
Let me apologize for my conduct.
He's the sweetest man, but he had a darkness about him too. And I said, we need that. Because when he opens the door and they're standing in the doorway, if you don't feel he's strong, then you don't feel the threat for Robert. Denzel met him in the casting, Mary Venue's office. As soon as I saw them just sitting there, just talking in general, I was like, okay, that's a good match.
You can call your boss and tell him to shut down this operation tonight.
That's not much of an offer.
That's the only one you're gonna get.
McCall's so honest. To me, he's just telling him what it is. Call your boss, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that. Like it's pure.
Yeah, he's not trying to figure him out at that, but it's too late for that. Yeah.
He's just pretty much said,
yeah.
I'm gonna what's the line? I'm gonna make an exception for you.
Yeah. I promised someone I love very much that I wouldn't go back to being that person, but for you, I'm gonna make an exception.
And then
I remember.
And then he does.
Yeah.
So it's about as honest as you can get. There's no testing and playing around anymore. He's there to tell him how this is gonna go down if he doesn't do what he's asking. Eddie, he gives him a chance to like.
Very clever, Mr. McCall. I decided to come and see you.
I'll be waiting for you.
For me, the idea was every battle, especially at that level, was informative. A guy like that is working at this store, and you've already seen how capable he is of handling himself in a bar with just corkscrews and shot glasses. So imagine how capable he would be with drills and all this stuff at Hallmark. And the other thing it tells you, for me, was that this is a guy that's been in the jungles in the world. He's the type of guy that gets dropped off somewhere in the darkness by himself, and he'll figure out what becomes weapons. You know, I always saw it as like going into Vietnam, into Ho Chi Minh's territory. They know the land. You're in their territory. So now you're coming into McCall's territory, and it tells you more about him. I don't know anybody that thinks about taking barbed wire, wrapping it around cement, and creating a noose with a dog collar catcher and hanging a guy. Like that comes from training and thinking, and that's a whole other level of a person. Again, it's informative of who Robert McCall is. In the mystery of his past, you don't have to say a lot because who knows how to do that? You know what I mean? Even if you're a violent individual, you don't think that way.